Cut the music. Boom. What is up? It's time for Steelers Sunday Q&A. I'm Kyle Chrise, here to answer all your Steelers burning questions on a Sunday. On this Oscar Sunday, Academy Awards, the biggest night in Hollywood, is also the least important night in Steelers Nation. Is that true? Is there a direct correlation? I don't know. Let's see. Some of the people are pouring into the chat. I see Daredevil with the victory sign. Victory to you, Daredevil. Or is that peace? I don't know. I get them confused. Afton is in the house. Felicia, spelled with an 8, is in the house. If you've got questions, hey, we'll take a stab at them. I don't know. There's nothing really going on. It's the calm before the Steelers storm. The con. Did I accidentally stumble upon that? The calm before the con season. Just me. Hey fam, what's up? I got the Oscars on in the background, trying to make sure all my faves won. I actually watched a lot of the Oscar-nominated movies this year, which is rare because right we never watch any of them. Kind of like Steeler Nation seems to never watch the games; they just complain. Well, it's not just me here in the Q&A on Sunday. I've got a special guest coming up. Sherry Richards, what's up, Kyle? Thanks. Someone's looking out for me. What's up, Sherry? Someone looking out for me, right? I give all this content, all this free content, on Oscar Sunday. Felicia's excited for the draft. It's like Christmas. The draft is like Christmas, except you don't get any gifts. Do you eat? Well, I eat just as much on draft day probably as I do on Christmas. Just no mint chocolate chip in April. What's up? Although it is Shamrock Shake season. So you got me there, Felicia. I can't deny the draft is like Christmas. Especially this year when we've got 2 picks in the first 32. What? Well, like I said, it's not just me here on the Q&A. I've got a special guest with me. Very excited to have, it's so hard to get this guy for any kind of sit down. So to have him answer your questions I just feel so special. It's Coach T himself. Coach T, welcome to the Q&A. What's up, Steeler Nation? Love Steeler Nation. What's up, Coach T? We're so glad to have you back here on the Q&A. To get it directly from the coach's mouth. A lot of these insiders speculate. They speculate and regulate, as AB says. But we go straight to the coach. Ain't that right, Coach? Yeah, that's right. So get those questions in now, because no one else will have this kind of insight. Right? Oh, wait, Daredevil's got the comment. Hope no one gets slapped during this Oscars. Yeah, right? Including me getting slapped with a parking ticket. You know how hard it is to find good parking in Hollywood when there's not an event going on. But on Oscar night of all night, they shut down half the streets. It's so easy to get a ticket. You know how many tickets I've gotten just trying to, maybe get 5 minutes of stage time at some comedy show at a coffee shop. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I'm going off target there. Coach, why don't we get it back to football, right? Let's get the comment here from Afton Forehead. She says, I think I'm more excited to see what happens in free agency, right? Don't count out draft season just yet. It's free agency season first. You're right. We've got some big decisions coming up, right, Coach? What's going on? We've got Rob Spillane and I think Pierre still on these exclusive or restricted rights free agents. It's like we Steelers have the leverage. What's going on with there? Well, I think you'll see a lot of decisions are going to happen before the first of the year. 17th is coming up soon, and I think that you'll see some decisions coming up before then regarding guys like Big Play Spillane and James Pierre and a couple others, players of that nature, that caliber. Oh, okay, right from the horse's mouth. Action going on this week. Let's see. We've got Joseph Milonovich bringing chaos to the Q&A. Will Kendrick Green be let go? I don't know. I kind of find that disrespectful, Coach. But I'll throw it to you. What do you think? Will Kendrick Green be let go? Absolutely not. This guy is going to be on the roster. All of these guys, they're going to be on the roster. Until training camp. We're going to enter camp with 90 guys looking to compete, and there's going to be a couple situations, and Kendrick Green might be part of this. Kind of two guys, one bone situation, if you know what I mean. And I think that Kendrick knows what the stakes are, and I think that you'll see that he's been putting the work in to make a run at left guard or even center. Some of those decisions will be made at camp later this year. We're talking August. No one's getting let go. No one's losing their jobs in March. Not even not even someone like Mason Rudolph, you don't think? Well, Mace isn't currently under contract. So, okay, I see what you're saying. Well, besides Jefferson, I guess he was under contract and he was let go. Well, let's not rule anything out. Oh, okay. I don't want to. I'm just trying to take your words for. Okay, let's move on. We've got Shaq Gregory entering the chat. Do you think Cam Sutton gets re-signed? Coach, I know you're got to be pretty tight-lipped about this, but I think just the signals we've gotten from Khan already that those talks have kind of started. I mean, heck, if they've started, we're not going to let him touch the market, unless he wants something. Unless Cam wants something completely outside of the Steelers, wheelhouse, I think that Cam gets re-signed before the start of the season. Any comment on that, Coach? No, I think you said enough there. I think, move on. Let's see. Afton is back. Is there anyone Steelers are targeting for inside linebacker? Right, Coach? Because, if you don't sign Spillane, you got Devin Bush out in the wind, then it just leaves Miles Jack on the 53. And, a lot of people in Steeler Nation want to either cut or restructure him. Well, I'm not going to play my cards in this chat about who we're looking at in inside linebacker, but it's safe to say that there will be additions made in the room. Oh, okay, right? I mean, hey, don't forget about Mark Robinson is in that room too. Like I said, there'll be additions made to the room. Oh, okay, that's kind of cold, I think. I don't know. Felicia with the comment, Coach usually says a whole lot of nothing. Oh, sheesh, I don't know about that. That's kind of like empty calories in the Big Chef salad. Satisfying. That does sound pretty good. Maybe a chicken Caesar salad. What says you, Coach? You say nothing at all, or are you saying exactly what needs to be said? Well, I don't like to blow my own horn, but there's an article in the Washington Post in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette about how teachers in New Orleans are studying my press conferences. But, let's not get into things of that nature. Let's stick to football. Okay, yeah, right? You don't want to blow your own horn there, Coach. Let's see here. Sherry Richard says, you heard it here first. The coach says we're not cutting Gunner. Right? What does Gunner bring to the room? I saw Gunner was down there with the boys in Florida, but he's under contract. But you didn't really have a special teams role for him. I think that might be one of those two dogs, one bone situation. Steven Sims and Gunner again, just because Sims ended the season with the return job doesn't mean that Gunner is not going to act like a pro when he comes to camp this fall. Okay, all right. I think we may have heard it there. Maybe not cutting Gunner. Not maybe not cutting him until we show up for camp at least. Make it a camp battle under contract, I guess. Let's see here. What other comments? Shaq Gregory says, "What free agents would you like the Steelers to bring in?" I mean, me personally, we all know the celebrity names out there, like the Edmonds brother or someone. People were saying OBJ this week. I think you didn't go to the OBJ workout. Why not, Coach? What was up with that? No OBJ. I think we've seen what OBJ can do from what he puts on tape, and I don't think we need to see him in a workout environment right now. We might invite him in later if the situation needs it, but I think right now we're pretty confident with our wide receivers room between DJ, George Pickens, CA3, Steven Sims, Gunner. Pretty full room. I get good point. Good point. Hi, Mom. Oh, someone's mom in the chat? Awesome. That's Steeler fandom. Believe me, my mom's not she's not in the chat at least. She might be listening in maybe. Felicia with the comment. I'm waiting to see what Calvin Austin 3 has in store. Aren't we all? I guess the first time that he does something on the field, everyone's going to either breathe a huge sigh of relief or a big or a big gasp. I don't know. Right now, I'm not trying to jinx anyone, but I don't know. He's just a player who we haven't seen on the field yet. So big high hopes, and let's hope that he gets on the field this year. If some people want Steelers to draft, like an Addison or something early, that only makes it less likely to see Calvin Austin III on the field. So if you really want that first round wide receiver, then you're kind of, I don't know, you're kind of making it really hard for CA3 to contribute in the roster. So be careful what you wish for, right? That's right. Coach agrees. Next question. Are we going to re-sign Boykin? Boykin is, special teams players are part of the, remember, teams are part of the team. Special teams are teams. You gotta count for their spots on the roster. Guys like Marcus Allen, guys like Derek Watt, and Boykin, I think, was in this category. And we did see him contribute in the wide receivers room. So if there was a chance to bring, is he not under contract? I don't know why I thought we had him for 2 years. But I would definitely embrace re-signing Boykin. He, the special teams aspect component, and he did contribute in the wide receivers room. If you're really serious about wanting to cut Gunner, then all the more reason to bring back Boykin, or vice versa. Something like that. I would like to see Boykin back. What do you say, Coach? How much say does Danny Smith get when it comes to a player? Well, it's kind of in that 2 dogs, 1 bone situation. When it's a toss-up between 2 guys, I'm going to let Danny pound the table for his guy, and sometimes that's the difference maker. That's why Danny Smith is still with the team, not retired yet. I'd rather have first-round defensive players, says Afton. Yeah, I think defense is going to be the focus in the draft. It's I look at the D-line. Still haven't shored up the run defense necessarily over the course of 17 games. Right now Cam is under contract. Isaiah Loudermilk, Liao, Montravius Adams, so yeah, we need to invest a little more on the defensive line, inside linebacker. Still talk about that third edge rusher. Is Bud Dupree going to be the guy? If not, might need to draft a guy. I could see this like Tomlin's first draft being very defensive heavy, especially because, look, and you tell me if I'm wrong, coach, not drafting quarterback early. Don't need to draft running back early. Uh, Wide receiver, some people might want it, but that room's kind of full. Tight end, don't need to draft tight end early. Uh, offense kind of, hey, offense is kind of set, at least for a large majority, especially in the skill side. So let's invest on defense. And coach, you never have enough outside linebackers, right? Well, outside linebackers are the engines that drive this team. Yeah, exactly. So I could definitely see heavily invested on defense. Um, defense to the max. Defense wins championships. Does it? I don't know. That's what they used to say. Felicia back in the chat with dude does not want Addison. Still have a bad taste in my mouth behind the Mason Washington duo that turned out to be a bust. Right? Don't draft buddies, right? It's like don't have your spouse work in the same office with you, right? Too close of a relationship. There might be something to that. Might there be? I don't know. Mason Washington never really got a chance never to pan out. So is it the exact same thing? I don't know. There might be a correlation. No friends. All strictly business. Steeler Nation, strictly business in the chat. What about Chase Claypool? Aiden with the $1 million question. What about him? What about Chase Claypool being traded? What about him being traded? That is a good question. What about Chase Claypool being traded? It turns out it was a good move, I guess. In hindsight now, I was really sad about it at the time because I actually met Chase at my grocery store of all places. But now Chase is in a bad spot in Chicago because they just got DJ Moore, who is certainly, hey, if he's not a number one, he's certainly a contributor in that room. And so it's going to be harder for Chase to contribute. So, nothing is guaranteed in life, I guess, or the NFL. Certainly not in Chicago. But Chase just didn't work out, Coach. Did he? Would you say he was a bust? I wouldn't go that far. No player is a bust in my mind. Players just overcome different challenges. Oh, okay, that's kind of wise. Is it? I don't know. Feels like you made that up on the spot there, Coach. Next question. What are we going to do at tight end if we can't re-sign Gentry? Is it just a matter of semantics if we can't? Because we can. I mean, if we want to, we can. What are we going to do at tight end if we do not re-sign Gentry? We haven't been afraid to go after veteran free agents at the tight end position. I'm thinking of Vance the Animal McDonald, or also Ladarius Green or whatever from San Diego. So we've been in the mix for tight end veterans, so we could go that route. With if you're saying that, obviously Muth and then Connor Hayward is gonna be a bigger part of the offense. If that's the assumption, then maybe you could let go of Gentry, but why not? I think that he comes at a great price and he blocks and he's been catching passes. I don't know. It's going to be if the team doesn't want to keep Gentry, then they're going to find a vet. That's I think that there's plenty of vet guys out there. Persons, not necessarily guys. What about Aiden is back with, we should sign J.J. Watt if he comes out of retirement. Okay, Coach. What kind of impact? This is something that you would be good at. You could get a guy like J.J. Watt to come out of retirement. I feel like you've done it with Debo Harrison. What says you? Could you get JJ to come back? Well, it'll always be good to see the big boy. I don't think JJ is really in a place where he wants to play anymore. I think he's made that clear. But, if the situation comes in August where maybe due to injuries we need a guy, uh, let's just say that I know who to ask for to get the text number. Am I right? Right? Yeah, right, right. Good point. Good point. Just one phone call away. I think we got to take a break. This will be the last question before the break. Thomas Riley, is it possible for the Steelers to re-sign Larry O, Edmonds, and KZ? All right, let's put on our con hats. The $1 million. This might be like a $30 million question. Well, let's just look at last year. Terrell Edmonds definitely was signable. We didn't have a big market. We signed him. KZ, I think, probably a similar situation. Now, Larry O, if you remember last year, was going to get the big money before the failed physical. So that contract discussions might be a little different because he might be more willing to see what's out there on the free market. Coach, what do you say? Are you going to bring back all three of these guys? It's my intention to bring back everyone on the 53. So, these discussions are ongoing. Yeah, all right. Good point. Good point. Let's take a break. We're at the halfway point. Oscars are on commercial, so we haven't missed any of the action. We'll come back in a few seconds with more of your questions. Hang on. All right. Commercial break is over. We're back for the second half of the Q&A. Let's get right into it. Felicia, we can use Connor in different schemes and we'll be goo. Yes, we will be. We'll be very good. Oh, yeah. Let's use Connor in all those schemes, right? Just put him all over the place. We line him up as a running back. We're going to put him as a tight end. All right, let's not get out of the way here. Okay, yeah, right. He's not going to be the cure-all, but we'll be good. You think we'll be good without Gentry? Okay, all right. Aiden, Tom Brady sucks. Enough said, right? I was just thinking about some of those playoff games from like 01 and 04. Screw that. Felicia has a good point about JJ Watt. He's not doing family discounts or team-friendly deals, so a Watt reunion isn't going to happen. Yeah, he says that now in March. We'll see what happens in August or September if someone gets hurt. We'll see if someone's willing to come back. Hello, Steeler fam, says Jim Dillon. What's up, Jim Dillon? 2 first names. What are you, an actor? Speaking of, anyone win anything? No, it looks like Avatar 2 is... All right. Okay. Yeah. I'll quickly tell you who I'm rooting for in the Oscars. I did like the Banshees of Ed Sheeran, and I liked Triangle of Sadness. That was pretty funny too. Coach, did you see anything? Top Gun, Maverick, all the way, USA. Can't argue with that. Great movie. Aiden's got his vote. Big Ben all day. Can't argue with that. When are we getting the Big Ben movie? Who would play Big Ben in the movie? I could see Thor maybe. What's his name? Liam Hemsworth. I could see Thor playing Big Ben. Anyone else? I don't know. I could see I could see it. I could see the Steeler movie. Maybe the Mike Tomlin movie. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe that's a better movie. Right, if we had a draft day movie about the Cleveland Browns, come on, we can get a half decent biopic about Mike Tomlin. Never say never, but never. Okay, all right. Well, Hey, I don't want to count it out. Yeah, we saw you guys in Batman, right? The Dark Knight. Anything? We saw Cower. Coach Cower was in Bobby Boucher. What was that? The Lonely Kicker. I can't remember what that was called. Omar Epps is Mike T. Right? Dwayne's got it. Afton's got it. Wes Chatham playing Big Ben. Okay, I could see. I could see the one vampire from True Blood playing Big Ben. Skarsgård. Which I don't know which Skarsgård he was. Who was Tarzan? How about the Bettis movie? That would be good. That would be good. Bettis, Notre Dame, drafted to the Rams, but gets traded. This is not a bad idea. Dwayne, Will Ferrell is Big Ben, right? That's kind of more his speed. He's a little more goofy. Big Ben is Will Ferrell. And who would be who's the guy that's always in the Will Ferrell movies? That would be like, I don't know, that would be like Bruce Arians or something, you know? His little buddy. Yeah, I agree. Alexander Skarsgård as Ben. I think that wouldn't be bad. Felicia says, Kyle, I swear you and Bad would be a great show. Different sides of the same coin. I mean that in a good way. I don't know. I'm taking it as in a bad way though. I don't know. Maybe not. All right, enough. What? Too much movie talk. Enough. Sorry, I'm just watching. I'm just watching the Oscars behind me. That's all. Let's do some more Steeler questions. Right? Enough. No one wants to talk movies. Right? What was the last good movie you saw, uh, Coach? I went and saw the Kurt Warner story because I knew it had a happy ending with the Debo interception. Good one, Coach. Good one. Quite the sense of humor on you, Coach. Well, if the questions aren't coming in, maybe I got a question for you, Coach. Lots been said about Mitch staying as number two, but we still going to need a number three quarterback in the room there. What do you say? Would you go with another veteran or maybe go with a draft pick or something altogether? I'm going to leave all options on the table. Obviously, the more experience you can have in the QB room, the better. We'll see who's out there after free agency, after the draft. Maybe there's some priority free agents, aka undrafted free agents. So a lot of options for QB3. Question from Afton: what's your favorite Steelers game of all time? Well, I was just, I've just been doing the March Madness of Steeler moments, and so I was coming across some particularly favorite moments that I haven't thought of in a while. Not just the Super Bowl moments, but like Willie Williams in the '95 AFC Championship game, stopping 3rd and 1 to save the Steelers and get them to the Super Bowl in that game, or Bryant McFadden breaking up the pass for Peyton to Reggie Wayne in right after Ben's tackle, moments like that, like kind of under the radar moments. And actually, I don't know if you've seen it on the website, but I've been trying to have fun with this March Madness of Steeler moments. I don't know if it's getting some of the hype that I kind of hoped, but I think you'll see some moments on there that are kind of under the radar. Favorite all-time game? I don't know, man. It's like a game that really changed my life was Bengals Steelers playoffs 2018, when the Joey Porter as the coach drew the penalty and we survived to move on. That kind of just we've the Steelers have had comebacks before, but that game kind of really cemented like never give up. It's really 60 minutes, anything can happen. And so that really kind of changed my frame of thinking, kind of changed my life, you might say, that game. But of course, favorite. Of course, Super Bowl 43. Come on, right? Or uh, even Super Bowl 30. There was a lot. I remember a lot of hype back then. I had a lot of fun with that. So, those are two of them, I guess. State of the Steelers chimes in. Is the cornerback one CB1 currently on the team? If not, does he come from draft or free agency? Coach, this might be a question for you. The way I see it, I kind of just look at bodies in the room, right? It's like, okay, Witherspoon is in the room. Levi Wallace is in the room. I'm pretty sure, James Pierre is in the room. Are they signing Cam Sutton? He's in the room. 4. So, um, CB1. It's not like the days with Joe Hayden or something or Ike Taylor where you had the guy who was the guy. But now we've got a room, and there's situations where some guys are in certain places. Some people would say Cam Sutton isn't a true number one. He's in the slot. All right, well, he's going to play more snaps than anyone else. So is he not your number one? So I think that maybe the answer is no. There's not a CB1 on the team. But this year maybe that's not the situation. It's going to be a room. And if we sign Cam Sutton, I don't think that eliminates still drafting a corner in round 1, because if you got Witherspoon, Levi Wallace, Cam Sutton, James Pierre, and Joey Porter Jr., let's say. Well, all right, let's take that room to camp, and then let's see who sticks. What do you say, Coach? Couldn't have said it better myself. Let's get this guy a job. Bert, is Bert here? Bert, call this guy. Let's get this guy a job in PR. I agree. I'm not like Jim Weck, so I'm not going to criticize the podcasters for wearing Steelers colors. He went to the combine and he saw some of the guys wearing Steelers. Whatever. I love it. Okay. Next question. Degeneration. This makes me lose all respect for the badass Pittsburgh Steelers, a guy that's playing with a baby doll doing a podcast. I thought the Steelers was supposed to be one of the toughest teams in the NFL. Good point. What is this? Is this would you say this is a baby? I wouldn't call you a baby doll. I somewhat resent that. I agree. This is definitely, this is a puppet. I would not a baby doll. Not that there's anything wrong with baby dolls, okay? If I wanted to represent baby dolls on this pod, I have no problem with that either. It has nothing to do with the gender of the non-gendered doll. All right. Next. Harvey Stone. How disappointed would you be if an offensive lineman was picked at 17? Me personally, I would be personally disappointed because I am rooting for Dan Moore Jr. If they went with a guard at 17 or even a center, if you wanted to say that like you're kicking Mason over, or you're getting the center of the future. Say you got a center at like 32, you're saying you're getting the center. Well, whatever, you can justify it that way. But if they do go left tackle, although I heard this argument, and then you tell me this, what didn't make a bad argument. Say you do draft a tackle at 17. Maybe it's not necessarily to replace Dan Moore Jr. Maybe, Chooks' contract is going to be taking up a lot of money. Maybe, you draft a tackle to give yourself some leverage room with Chooks in 2024. So if that is the strategy, then okay, maybe I'm not so disappointed with a tackle at 17. But I personally am rooting for Dan Moore. Heck, he's got 30-some starts already. Like, I don't want to give up on him now in year 3. Jim Dillon with the insight. I was talking to someone who watches lots of Big Ten football. A blessing and a curse. He thinks Porter is good, but not great. So there you have it, right? Everyone just knows the name, Joey Porter Jr., but maybe he's not the end all be all. I mean, there's a Witherspoon that people like too. Wouldn't that be something? Two Witherspoons, Witherspoon and Witherspoon, 25, and we'll give the other one 52. It'll be trickery, you know. Well, who is it? We can't tell. They're mere images. Not since Harpo Marx or whatever. Chico, I don't know, one of those Marx brothers. I think he means Harpo. Okay, all right. Claude enters the chat. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and puppets, and baby dolls. See, here's a good point from Felicia. Ravens and Browns look good on paper, but not so much on the field. The Bengals will have to make so much money move soon, and the Steelers will rise to the top in 2024. That's those playing the long game would agree. They're saying I was listening to one of the pods this week, and they were like, "Well, Steelers have the best quarterback situation in the AFC North," and the comment sections on TikTok were coming in like, "What? How could you say Steelers in a better situation than the Bengals or even the Browns?" And the point is that those teams are going to have to make money moves that the Steelers won't necessarily have to make. So if you like playing the Omar Khan game and like, dollars and cents and all that, then there's stuff to look forward to. Let's go. What other comments? It looks like an inside joke. I don't get this one from Claude Bishop. Hey, Daniel, congrats on the success of the Drunk Turkey Show. So I'll give a shout out too without even knowing what it means. Hey, but would that get you canceled? I don't know. Maybe. Podcaster endorses drunk turkeys. Oh shoot, I didn't think it was real turkeys. Blackjack Novak enters the chat. How many brother tandems will be on the team this season? Okay, well, we know for sure one with the Haywards, right? We know for two, Watts. Could there be an Edmonds? That would be pretty cool. There's also, people are mocking, there's another Hayward in the draft, a cousin Hayward, not to be confused with Cousin It, but Cousin Hayward, who some people are mocking in the later rounds. What says you, Coach? What is it with all the bloodlines? Well, first off, we know the pedigree in some of the situations when it's twins. Also, this is a family organization, and we like to keep things in the family, on the field and in the front office. I love it. That's all the more reason why we could see JP Jr. Okay, next question. Are there any more questions? Let's see. Bengals. I see Bengals suck is showing up. Sherry's putting the money down right here. I personally believe we're going corner at 17. Let's put our bets in. I'll give you, I don't know. I'll give you minus 300 on corner at 17. Right now, all the mocks have, it's either corner or, some O-line or some D-line, If we go by, 50% of the mocks, then it's going to be corner. What happens if Joey Porter is there at 17 and the Steelers don't select him? That's a great question, Randy. It just goes to show then that all the fan takes and insiders don't have the same evaluation standards as the Steelers. And maybe that'll make you ask yourself some questions instead of being like, the typical outrage reaction is, Steelers screwed it up. Way to go, Tomlin. Yeah, it was not you. Way to go, Tomlin. You screwed it up. Instead, I think as fans, we should be asking, why does the front office think this way? Or why does the front office make decisions this way? Try to get into their headspace, but, because everyone was saying last year, Malik Willis. And then when it ended up being Kenny, some people were, kind of, what? We passed on Malik Willis. Instead, we should be like, wow, why did we go Kenny? And look down those rationale. If Porter is there at 17 and Steelers don't select him, there will be riots in the street. I think it'll be interesting. It'll mean Could it mean that, I guess let's say, what will it mean? It could mean that there was a better athlete available at 17, overall athlete that they thought, and then just going for best player available. Or I guess you could speculate that there's a position of more urgent need. And so we'll see. Interesting. Interesting. I like the question. Concerns about JPJ. My two biggest concerns are fluidity and losing yards to penalties. Fluidity. Coach? How do you measure fluidity? Well, is that how much liquid is in the Gatorade bucket? No, I don't think so. Is it? That sounds. I don't know exactly. I don't know. Is fluidity a concern? I don't know too much really. I root for Penn State, but I couldn't even tell you. Wow, Joey doesn't have some fluidity. I'm just assuming that we haven't seen their best yet. All these players have concerns, but we haven't seen their best yet. They're young guys. What is the puppet's name? Says R. It's Coach. This is Coach T. I don't know. I thought it was pretty obvious. Right? You don't have a you don't have, is there anything else you go by? Coach T's fine. Coach. All right. Will Watson be giving some money back to improve the rest of the Bengals? Wait, is this through the rest of the Browns? I heard said something about that Watson was willing to renegotiate his contract. I mean, can we talk about karma? I mean, right? I mean, he should. Leonardo enters the chat. Which position would you go for at 17? I think I would personally go best defensive player available. Well, let's not lie. I want to see Joey Porter Jr. I'm a Penn State guy and I'm a legacy guy. So if JPJ is up there, JPJR, I'm going to take him. But if I was really Omar Khan and I had to make a serious pick, I think I would go best available at defense, whether it's D-line, inside linebacker, maybe even edge, because I'm just going best available. Me personally, what will Steelers do? I mean, I kind of think that that's what they might do. Best available on defense. Steelers, City of Brotherly Love. That's actually Philly, but hey, whatever. Well, I'll endorse it. What else? Oh, Leonardo is back with Would you bring back Bud Dupree? I definitely would. In fact, I'm all on board of bringing back Bud Dupree, a veteran who's done good. Plus, he just his size, 6'4". Guy's a monster. If that is the solution at linebacker, outside linebacker, I would bring it back. What about you, Coach? I mean, you gotta love Bud, right? You said it best. Obviously, 6'4", 280, 260. I haven't seen the big boy in a while. Would love it. Bring back Bud. Bring back Bud. Let's start that as the hashtag. Hashtag bring back Bud. Claude. Hey, Kyle, I love the show, but have you had a mental evaluation lately? Yes, and I passed. Flying colors. Completely mental. So, enough said. Felicia's back. I like Banks. Yeah, this is a cornerback that have showed up in a couple mock drafts. I guess if Joey Porter is going higher than 17, then Deontay Banks is the next guy that people like. I don't know enough about him, but if he starts getting mocked enough, then I could see it happening. Napoleon in rags enters. Puppets. Hun. That must stand for hot, nifty, nice, neat. Aiden, loving this energy. Kenny Pickett, better than Joe Burrow. Nuff said. Comment of the night. You win. What do you win? Well, obviously, we'll get you maybe a signed picture by Mason Rudolph. Oh, okay. Is that a prize? I don't know. All right, we're coming up on 50 minutes. Let's see if we can get to a couple quick questions. Coach T, here we go, Leonardo. Coach T, would you say we can go back to the playoffs next season? This is the $1 million question. Are we going to get back to the playoffs? Because I can't handle another offseason that starts this early. I mean, we're not even at free agency yet. I feel like we've had 2 months of this kind of no talk nonsense. Are we going to get back to the playoffs, coach? Obviously, the standard is not just the single elimination tournament, the standard is the Sticky Lombardi. That being said, you can't get to the big game unless you make it to the single elimination dance, and then you see what happens. So yes, the goal is the AFC North, the playoffs, and then the Super Bowl, and things of that nature. All right, final word there from Coach T. I think that's enough said. Anything? Any last questions? Who wears? Who wears? We'll give Harvey Stone. Who wears 48 Bud DeBree's old number? That's a good question. I don't know. Is Jameer Jones? Was he 48? Is he even? Someone might be having to sell their number. Last comment. We'll give it to Randy Wagner. I happen to really love the show. Love the format. Thank you. I love you, Randy. Always, you can keep the conversation going on Twitter. I'm at Kyle Chrise. Is it on my screen? It should. You would think it would be. I don't know. Coach, what about you? Can we find you on social media? I am in the social media component at Coach Tomlin. All right. Until next week, when hopefully we have some Steelers news to talk about. I appreciate all the questions. And until then, may the standard be the standard. All right. Good night.